just wait till it's officially 4 o'clock. The quiet before the storm. All right, it's 4 o'clock, yeah. All right, thank you for joining us for the October 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the MDD Board. The time is 4 o'clock p.m. We're going to begin with a roll call. When I call your name, please say here or present. President Laura Kerner.
Here.
Vice President Nicholas DeCiani.
Here.
Secretary Keith Roden.
Here.
Treasurer Michael Lovelace is not present. David Fairhurst is not present. Ruben Olvera. Here. And Stephen Robertson.
Present.
With 5 of 7 members present, a quorum is declared.
Thank you very much, Amanda. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. Next on the agenda is citizens to be heard. We did not have anyone sign up to speak today. Is there anyone that didn't get an opportunity to sign up that would like to speak? Okay. Next is our consent agenda. We have just one item, which is the approval of last meeting's board meeting minutes. Does anyone like to remove anything from consent agenda for discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Next is our first report, which is the Fair Oaks Ranch Gateway Monument Project Status Update. I believe this is the last and final project status update. So thank you, Kelsey.
Apologies, I forgot an easel.
Okay.
Good afternoon, MDD Board of Directors. My name is Kelsey Delgado. I'm the project manager for the City of Fair Oaks Ranch. Today, I'm happy to announce that the Gateway Monument has reached substantial completion as of September 18th. Currently, the contractor is working through a few last punch list items, which includes getting electrical hooked up through CPS and getting vegetation to grow in. The city hosted a ribbon cutting ceremony on the 26th, where a few of the board directors here today were able to come out. I wanted to thank you for coming out and celebrating with us. I also wanted to take a moment to thank the Municipal Development Board for helping bring this project to life. This new gateway now serves as a welcoming and iconic entrance to this great city for all of us to enjoy. I did bring an exhibit from the ribbon cutting ceremony with me today that shows the construction progression, should anyone be interested in seeing that after today's meeting. And that is my update.
Thank you. Any questions, board members?
Just an ad. You did a wonderful job of putting all this together. I know there's a lot of activities that never get seen, but for a project like this, you've done a great job.
Thank you very much.
I also want to add, this is a little monumental for the Municipal Development District. This was literally our first project we have ever completed. So, good job on us. I mean, the process that it took to get here, putting together applications and policies and going through all that. I have requested the final invoice. I've received that, and I validated that that the costs are within our contract, and so we will be paying the remainder of the amount. I've actually authorized to pay the remainder of the amount up to the not to exceed amount. Okay. So, thank you. Great job.
All right, thank you.
Next is the quarterly financial and investment report for quarter ending September 30th, 2025.
Yes, thank you. This also marks the close of the fiscal year, so these results are preliminary, but no material changes are anticipated. So through September, the district collected approximately $450,000 in sales tax revenue, And because sales tax is received 2 months in arrears, an additional $78,000 has been accrued for August and September collections, bringing year-to-date total to $528,000 for sales tax. Interest earnings total $159,514. So altogether, revenues for the year totaled $687,514. That is more than $83,000 above budget. Expenses for the fiscal year totaled $266,788. That is including the accrual of the grant award to the city. This resulted in a net increase of $420,726 to fund balance. So that raises the district's total fund balance to approximately $3.75 million. On the next page, you'll see the district's investments remain conservatively managed. Nearly all the funds are placed into local government investment pools, Tex Pool and Texas Class, while a smaller balance is maintained in Frost Bank for operating needs. Interest earned this quarter was $41,729. And as of September 30th, the combined investment balance was $3.9 million, with yields averaging just over 4.3%, which continues to outperform Treasury yields. So that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Summer. Any questions, board? Does this budget include the expenditures for that, the gateway?
Yes,
in
it
here?
does.
Okay, so that's already included in.
Correct.
Okay. All right, no other questions. Next is the Marketing and Project Opportunities Subcommittee report, and Nick DeCiani, you will be presenting that. Or-
Okay, well, the committee has met at least 3 times, once with some of the city, and we did some discussions as to what could and could not fit into the city's plans, just to make sure that we're not going too far out of bounds. We have done quite a bit of research. I think Dan's training last meeting was very timely. It saved us a lot of digging into 209. We understand a lot of the things we can't do now. And we are looking at various other opportunities that we can incorporate into a strategic plan. In order to do that, though, I think that one of the things we had talked about, Keith brought it up in one of our meetings earlier, we want to have a brainstorming session. That's our primary recommendation at this point. The 3 of us have come up with a lot of different approaches to this, but I think this is the most important thing we can put together this year. And I'd like to have the board participate, hopefully at 100% level, so that we can get all the ideas, put them down, try and make a plan out of it, and then approach it. Some of the things that we thought about is to initiate contacts outward as opposed to waiting for people to come to us, which I think is what we're going to need to do. We have some issues with geography. We don't have a lot of land available in town if somebody wanted to do something, which is an interesting problem to have. So what I would propose is that we have a brainstorming session in November, late November, if Amanda can find us some dates. She and I had talked the other day, and apparently there's a couple of things the city's doing right now that are going to tie everybody up, like elections and things like that. So, Amanda, have you gotten a calendar for us to look at, or is that premature?
I don't have a calendar for you to look at, but I have some dates.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about it now. Do you all want to schedule something now, or do you all want to try
I
to
would just like to,
schedule-
we're going to have to send out, I think, a note to the people that aren't here to see whether or not they can attend to, because I would really like to have all of us here.
Okay.
And so if you have some dates that kind of spill over into December, that would probably not hurt us.
Okay, so, just,
Well, hold on a second. Is that the full report?
Yes, pretty much.
Any questions on the report and the recommendation from the committee for a workshop? Okay, I think it's a great recommendation, and I do think we should schedule that. So we could do it at the next meeting in January, but sounds like you want to do it
I wanna
before
get it-
then. You
yeah.
want to get started, so that's great. Either we could try to coordinate it right now, or you could send us emails. But if you throw out a few dates, it'll give us some time to think about it, then we could respond by email afterwards.
So, early November wouldn't work, obviously because of elections. But the week of the 10th, so if you all are wanting to do Wednesdays at 4, the 12th is available. That's the day after Veterans Day, though. The 26th is available as a Wednesday, but it's right before Thanksgiving. But if you all are willing to do other days, we've got the 10th. So the 10th, the 12th, the 14th. If we're looking for afternoons, the 17th and the 18th would work. And the week of the 24th through the 28th is obviously available except for Thursday and Friday. So 24th through the 26th.
I'd say, because I know you've done it in the past, just send out to everyone a list of dates and say, reply which ones work, and then you can probably be most efficient to whittle it down from there, and we can collectively choose a date.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Do the doodle thing?
Yes.
Okay, that is very convenient. I'm hoping we can find a date within there. Okay. Are we looking, what, for 2 hours?
I would think at least we'll block out 2, maybe we'll get done quicker, but 2 is probably enough.
Okay. We'll plan to call a special meeting sometime in November. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Next item, we'll move on to consideration and action items, is consideration and action regarding the election of MDD officers for fiscal year 25-26. As per our rules, we are to elect officers every October, so it is that time again. So we need to elect president and the vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer. Do I hear a nomination for MDD president?
I nominate the current president.
Thank you. I am willing to continue serving. Is there any other nominations? Okay. I will put my name down for the motion. We'll just do one big motion. Then, do I have a nomination for vice president?
I'll nominate Nick.
Okay, one nomination for Nick. Nick, are you willing to serve? About a nomination for MDD secretary?
David's not here.
So I nominate our current secretary, Keith Roden. Okay, you're willing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give it away if somebody wants it.
Okay. And our current treasurer is not here, but I'm feeling like he would continue to serve in that role.
I
So-
would nominate him to
You
continue as treasurer.
Okay, so you nominate Mike Lovelace to continue as treasurer. Okay. Any other nominations for any positions? Okay. With that, do I hear a motion to elect Laura Kerner, the position of MDD president, Nick DeCiani as position of vice president, Keith Roden as position of secretary, and Mike Lovelace as position of treasurer?
So move.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes, and we continue. Okay, next item on the agenda is consideration and possible action approving a resolution reaffirming the Fair Oaks Ranch Municipal Development District's investment policy. This will be Summer Fleming.
So for your consideration is a resolution that reaffirms the investment policy. Now, the Public Funds Investment Act requires the board each year to adopt a resolution confirming that the policy has been reviewed and to record any changes. It ensures that our investments are managed with the highest return, maximum security, that we're in compliance with state law and our own financial framework. So the board made comprehensive updates to the investment policy last October, so I'm not recommending any changes at this time. This item is ahead of the policy review item later in the meeting, which will focus on the broader financial management policy. And the investment policy is included in that as Appendix A. So while the full policy will be reviewed during that item, my recommendation is that no changes be made to the investment policy itself. This resolution reaffirms the investment policy as it currently stands, and it fulfills the PFIA requirement. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Summer, could you just clarify why we have all the listed brokers? You know, we have these 7 listed brokers. Could you just give a quick summary of those, why they're there?
Sure. In order for us to utilize any broker, they have to be approved by the governing body and actually listed in the financial or in the investment policy. And so last year when we made comprehensive updates, I had done some research on the city side as well on some local brokers that we might potentially want to use, look into. So this at least got them on the list. The PFIA actually requires that they have to have certain requirements to be authorized to be a broker. And so at that time, I ensured that we had all the documents from these brokers. So we added them to the list so that we have the opportunity to use them if we choose. But it doesn't mean that we have to use them. If we were to find another broker that we wanted to use, we would have to come back and amend our policy to include them as an authorized broker. But so for now, we do have this list. I know some cities will just have a list of 100 that way they have an open range of who they want to choose at different times if opportunities present themselves. So this is our current list that we would be allowed to use. Thank you. Sure.
Summer, is there a reason why we have somebody from Seattle on that list?
That may be where one of their head offices
Oh,
is,
okay.
or the headquarters. But the ones that I did choose are their local ones that a lot of the surrounding cities use. And so at the time when I was just, we were looking to expand our investments, I went with some of the more local ones. So yeah, their headquarters might be in Seattle, but they do a lot of predominant business here in the surrounding cities.
That's fine, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Let me get this motion ready. Do I hear a motion to approve a resolution reaffirming the Fair Oaks Ranch Municipal Development District's investment policy?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, the next agenda item is consideration and possible action to update the MDD policy language regarding a process for managing small dollar project requests. With Mike Lovelace not able to attend today, I do not have any items from him for this, so we will not be going over this agenda item today. Moving on to agenda item 11. A consideration and possible action regarding the posting of the Municipal Development District meeting videos on the city website. And I'll turn this over to Amanda.
Yep, me again. So historically, the city has only posted audio and video recordings of city council meetings on its website. In response to resident requests, the city is expanding this practice to include video recordings of all board, commission, and committee meetings. This afternoon, we are seeking direction from the board on whether to also publish recordings of the MDD. For clarity, these recordings would not be streamed live. Instead, the recordings will be uploaded after each meeting, which is still well in advance of the approval of minutes since the MDD meets quarterly. The recordings will include an image of the board, a display of the screen, and a display of this podium when someone is speaking. The recordings will be posted both on the city's YouTube channel and on the agendas and minutes page of the city's website, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
So I just have a comment. So the city provides services to the MDD under our interlocal agreement. And so in this would be an additional service you would be providing under the interlocal agreement. From what I understand, we're not going to be amending that. This fits within that scope. However, there's the potential that the storage space for the videos will have eventually some costs. So I imagine as you start evaluating this, if we choose to go in this direction, if you think any adjustments need to be made to the interlocal agreement or the costs that come to us, you can come back with us with an amendment to the interlocal agreement. Does that make sense, Summer? Okay.
I don't foresee that happening. In talking with Casey about it, a lot of them are going to be posted on YouTube, and so even if the retention period is over and we don't have to keep those videos, then they could still be online with
Okay.
YouTube.
How many days after the meeting are videos normally posted?
So this is a new process, and it's really kind of dependent on how, so the videos will have to be downloaded, and I will usually start the recording way in advance, just so that I don't forget, and we'll probably just clean it up before we post it online. I would anticipate that by the next week, we should have it up.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
How long do you keep the videos out on YouTube or wherever they're stored?
At this point, I don't believe that we are taking them down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a way to search on the videos so that when people want to see?
So the Fair Oaks Ranch has its own YouTube page, so you can search on the YouTube page, but they will also be linked to our agendas and minutes page. So if you go to the agendas and minutes page, off to the side, there will be a link next to the meeting and the agenda where you can click on it. It'll send you directly to the YouTube link.
Okay.
And we can, maybe at the next meeting, I'll give you all a little, just to show you where it's at.
Now, do you take the minutes from the video, or do you record and then do both? I'm a little confused if we need to do both, recording audio and video.
We do need a set of minutes. The minutes will be kept permanently. The videos, we were still taking videos during these meetings just as a backup, just in case there was a need to go back and clarify something for the minutes. The video is just a standalone, and it's really more so that residents who cannot attend meetings can still be able to see what's happening during our meetings. And so initially, I think the request was even just for audio, but since we have the video, city manager has decided that we should move forward with posting it. So we started October 1st, the new fiscal year, but this is the first meeting of the year. We're going to be posting them for all committees and boards, but of course, we wanted to ask your concurrence because you all are your own entity.
Yeah, the reason for bringing that up is I've attended a couple of meetings in town, and we've had technical issues. The video didn't get done, or it was cut out in the middle, or so you do need some backup. And I'm just concerned that we weren't going to just rely on the video
No.
for the minutes.
No,
Okay.
we are not relying on just video
Good.
because obviously there are technical difficulties. So the recording is really just as a service to the residents.
That's fine.
Were our meetings already recorded on video, or was it just audio in the past?
So the recording goes on, and it was recording video and audio, but we weren't set up any kind of way. So sometimes the video would just be the screen. Sometimes the video would just be here because we were only using it for the audio. But we have worked with Casey, who is our communications, he works in our communications department, and he has created a layout. So it's gonna be a stationary sort of, it'll be a large picture of the board, and then there will be a picture, a smaller off to the side that shows the meeting, whatever's being displayed on the screens in the meeting, and the podium. So we won't have anyone here sort of moving cameras because we're not streaming live, but it will capture as much as we possibly can.
I know on the city side, there's times where, like, when you post the video, you also post it on the website, and there's like a link between the agenda item and the item on the part in the video where you're talking about that item. Is that going to be the case here too?
I don't want to give you an answer on that just yet because the city is currently changing agenda management systems.
Okay.
And so very soon we'll be moving over into that platform. The plan right now is not to timestamp, but in the future, if it's an easy capability in that, then we very well may.
Okay.
Right now, that's not the plan.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, a quick question. Is there an interactive process, like say a week later, a resident is watching and has a question? Is there an email address they can send that question to? I'm just thinking as this develops.
There's nothing tied to the actual agenda or to the video, but that could very well open up where people are watching the meeting afterwards and then reaching out by checking our website, going to the MDD webpage, trying to reach one of you all individually, or reaching out to the city and then asking those questions, and we would be the in-between. But there's nothing tied specifically to the video or to the agenda that says this is where you would contact someone. If you all want me to write something, I mean, we could always put that like in the description of the video, since we're uploading it afterwards to YouTube. If that's something that the board would like, then, I mean, just give me direction and we can add something to the language.
It's just a thought, because in theory, you're expanding the number of people that have attended this, now they're online a week later. I'll leave that to the other board members. It was just a thought on my part.
Okay.
But that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could get inundated, or we could get inundated. You know, I don't have a problem with receiving emails or phone calls, but if you get 100 of them and they go in and it becomes a public email, that may become an issue in the future. So it would be probably a good idea to have a point of contact within the city that could at least accept the emails and would then refer them off to the board members as appropriate, or to Laura. And, well, mainly Laura.
And I would probably suggest that we give the city secretary website
Yes.
or
Yes.
email address, so it would come to us and then we would distribute it
Yeah,
appropriately.
that makes sense. I think it kind of be a traffic cop arrangement.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
Nick, in my 2 years on council, I've not received 100 emails, so I think we'll be fine in terms of,
In total.
in total. Not from city folks. But also, anybody who watches our council meetings, which are much more frequent, they just go to the website and click on our email address and send an email. So we've had a
Okay.
few. I think we just try it and see where it goes, and if it gets to be an issue, which I highly doubt it'll be very much volume on that, but if so, we can figure out a way to filter it.
I've never worked with YouTube, so I don't know if it opens it up to the world or just to our community.
Yeah, anybody can watch it. YouTube is global. Anybody can watch it, but they'd have to go
They'd
find
have to
it.
know to find it.
They have to come to our website and go to it. So I'd just say we walk down that road and see where it goes. And
Okay.
And I don't think that YouTube is going to push us to the masses. So, I mean, YouTube, if you go on, it will sometimes suggest things, but it's rarely going to be something like this. You have to have a lot of viewers for them to even promote you like that. So I don't foresee that happening to us.
Okay.
I do think this is a good service because we have such a long time between our meetings, and our meeting minutes aren't approved for 3 months after the meeting. This will be a quick way for residents to see how votes happened within a week or two of the meeting without having to wait for the meeting
Yeah,
minutes.
and Amanda and I do the minutes within a day or two of the meeting, so we already do our minutes. We don't wait on any kind of audio or video or take notes. She has it prepped, so yes, they can see what goes on. So,
But we
yeah.
can't post them until we
No,
approve it at the meeting,
And that's
so,
okay.
yeah.
We do the same thing on the city. Same function.
Yeah, but you do it every 2 weeks. Ours doesn't get approved for 3 more months.
Correct.
So it's a long time.
And
So-
the other consideration is that you all meet during regular business hours for most people, so residents who work regular business hours can't attend. And so this gives them an opportunity to at least see or watch the video afterwards.
Yep.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion for the Municipal Development District Board of Directors meeting recordings to be posted, video recordings to be posted on the city's website.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, next would be the agenda item 12, which is consideration and possible action regarding the annual MDD policy review. And this is for our secretary, Keith Roden.
Yep, thank you. So Amanda and I went through this, and I think you have a slide to show when we have reviewed policies. The only one we haven't reviewed, Summer mentioned it was our financial policy.
Is there one with dates?
Yeah, you have that one, Amanda?
I don't have one with dates typed in, but I do have the information in my notes.
Maybe
Okay.
you could just tell us what those are, so.
So, as an FYI, all of these were reviewed at your October 2023 meeting. But since then, the rules of procedure have been amended. Those were amended on April 10th of this year.
Can you zoom in a little bit? I'm sorry.
Sure,
I
sure,
didn't
sure.
bring my glasses.
Absolutely. Okay, so rules of procedure, those were amended on April 10th of this year. The financial management policy was last reviewed in 2023, and that one is supposed to be reviewed biannually. The investment policy was just reaffirmed at this meeting because that one is required to be reviewed annually. And then the project evaluation policy was amended April 11th of 2024, and that one should be looked at least biannually. So this is timely as well.
So really, the only policy we need to look at today would be the financial management policy. And as I went through it, and Amanda and I went through it, I don't think we've had any changes to that policy, and we just incorporated the existing investment policy within that overall. The financial management policy is the overarching policy, which also incorporates the investment policy. And I don't believe we've had any changes since last time. I went through it, and I don't see anything that I would recommend any modifications to it, but I don't know if you all, anybody else on the board has some suggestions or
I didn't
comments.
see any changes at all, so.
There were no changes.
Yeah.
so.
And I do think that we did a big review of it last year when we did do it. We went through and there was a significant changes to match with what the city had for theirs. Do we have any other new changes? Like, is the city making any changes to their financial policy?
The city is making changes to the financial management policy. I don't think they would apply here. The biggest changes were adding a comprehensive reserve policy. They also have 24 million in reserves. And then they also did a comprehensive debt management policy. Again, the district doesn't have any debt, so at this time, I wouldn't consider creating policies for those right now. I do look at the financial management policy annually also when we do the investment policy. I mean, I didn't find anything that I thought would need to be revised this time. And again, the biggest revision last October was a complete overhaul of the investment policy. So I don't have any further recommendations for the policy.
We don't need to do a resolution to reaffirm the financial policy or anything. We just need to do a review, note that we reviewed it, and if we don't have any changes, then we're fine. Is that correct?
Right, there's no external law that requires a written document reaffirming the financial management policy, just our own internal policy of reviewing it each year.
Okay.
And I am tracking that now. It's just that this version doesn't allow for very much, so I may change this a little bit.
Okay.
But I am tracking it, and I will send that to you all.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want to just summarize something, so, and help me, Amanda, on this. So our rules of procedure, we updated in April 10th of this year, and it would be due again to reaffirm when? Each year? Or 2 years?
I can't remember if the rules of procedure is annually or biannually.
Okay.
But based off of the policy review procedure, and this is something that we have been doing in October rather than in July, but next July, I anticipate to put it on the agenda
Okay.
because the policy says that this review that we're doing now should take place in July. So we are actually looking at them annually, that there are no substantial changes and that you all are not making any amendments is different. You just have to review them once a year.
Okay, and so then the financial management policy, we're going to record this date, the 10/8/25 is the review of that. The investment policy likewise, and the project evaluation policy will not be due again for review until 2026. So I think we're now up to date.
Good job.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? From that, we have no action necessary. Last item is consideration and possible action regarding the next upcoming regular MDD board meeting. So this is the regular meeting that we hold in January. So what date are we currently looking at, Amanda?
Real quick, a presentation, another
Oh,
one.
we have a presentation. Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna give some background.
Okay.
So the rules of procedure require that the meetings be held at least once every 3 calendar months of each fiscal year. This item proposes establishing regular meeting dates for 2026 in January, April, July, and October, consistent with the practice in previous years. In 2025, the board selected the second Wednesday of each of those months as its regular meeting dates. That schedule avoided conflicts with meetings of other appointed bodies, as well as with elections and special events. Staff has tentatively reserved this room for the second Wednesday of January, April, July, and October 2026 at 4 p.m. pending final action today. The proposed action would continue the established pattern. Those dates would be January 14th, April 8th, July 8th, and October 14th of 2026. And as a suggestion, the board may also wish to consider designating a recurring special meeting date. This is not you scheduling meetings. It would just align with your regular quarterly schedule, and this would help us with scheduling special meetings in the future. We would basically just set aside a date, and we could also, if you wanted to continue with the second Wednesday of the month, we could reserve those for the rest of 2026, except for November, because that would be Veterans Day. I just wanted to make that suggestion, so in the future, we're not having to coordinate with different schedules. It would be just the second Wednesday of each month that would be designated in case there was in the event we would need a special meeting. And happy to answer any questions you might have on this item.
State those dates again, January 14th.
January 14th, April 8th, July 8th, and October 14th. And I would also ask for concurrence on the time of those meetings. As long as I've been with the city, it's been at 4 p.m., but
Yeah, okay. And then, board, any thoughts on setting aside the special date on their calendar just for planning purposes?
The regular meetings seem to be the same, so that's a no-brainer. The special one, I think, it's going to be hard because people's plans are not fixed out for a year, and it's going to get changed all the time anyway. So I don't know how we can do that, Amanda.
okay.
I mean, look how hard it was to even think about doing something in November this year.
Right, but so we have done this with other groups where, so like our ZBOA doesn't meet every month, but they have a standard meeting date. So every third Wednesday, if the ZBOA needs to meet, they know that that's something that's on their calendar that they could look forward to. Now, the MDD rarely has special meetings. This isn't saying that you're gonna have a meeting those days or that you should change your plans. This is just for planning purposes so that you know if we need to have a special meeting in February, you can kind of guess, or you'll know which date it might fall on. We are
Okay.
getting more and more instances where people want to schedule a meeting in here and we just can't. because there's something else going on. And it doesn't mean that something would change and some of these dates wouldn't go away. If we needed to have a special election or in an election in May, that may change the May date possibly. This is just setting aside a date, not scheduling a meeting, just saying if there is a need for a special meeting, we have a designated date that you could look to your calendar and be like, well, I know that this is the date that it would fall on.
And we're guaranteed the room.
Right.
We've probably only had, what, one special meeting in the last 2 years? So I would also hate to block out an entire room for 7 or 8 other months of the year if we're never going to use it.
So my suggestion was going to be to put it on the calendar, and at the beginning of every month, we would probably already know whether there's going to be a special one because there's requirements for preparing an agenda. So I would put it on the calendar with a note, and we do that now. So like, we will reserve the room from like 2:30 to 5 in preparation for this, but I will make a note saying, if this needs to change, if you need to use the room a little bit later, please contact Christina or Amanda, and we will absolutely work with them. So that's definitely something that I would do. Again, these are just tentative dates. Nothing is set in stone, but that way we kind of know. And again, you all don't have to do this. This was just a suggestion.
And when you're talking about blocking it, you're talking about internally on your own
On our
internal
internal-
city calendar. We're not posting it on
No.
websites or anything like
No.
that? Okay.
You know, because the strategic plan's going to take a little work, and we're going to have a special meeting in November. We'll have our regular meeting again in January. We might have a special meeting in the spring, so it wouldn't hurt to have a date kind of reserved at least through the first half of next year. Maybe just do that, because I don't see us knocking out the strategic plan in 2 meetings possibly. We might.
Probably
We might
not.
be really good, but I think we'll have to have another one in the spring to hopefully wrap it up and put it into action. That's my thought.
And we don't really need like an action for
Right, you're
that.
just gonna, okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. I move that do I hear a motion to have MDD set the following dates for their regular quarterly MDD meetings? January 14th, 2026 at 4 PM, April 8th, 2026 at 4 PM, July 8th, 2026 at 4 PM, and October 14th, 2026 at 4 PM. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. And that ends the agenda for today's meeting. With that, I call the meeting,
I have one question.
Yes.
Are we videoing this meeting, Amanda, or no? Or we start next time?
Nope, it is being recorded right now in anticipation that you all might approve.
Okay, great. That's all I need to know.
Yep.
Thank you.
okay, with the anticipation it will be posted.
Yes,
Okay, with that, I call this meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
and the time is
4:42.
Yes, 4:42.